It's now time for the 1017 The Team High School Basketball Halftime Show with Austin Denton. Take it away, Austin.
And we're back here live from Volcano Vista High School. The Hawks leading the Cleveland Storm 27-20, and it was a lopsided game at first. Volcano Vista was up 18-9 at the end of the first quarter, but then came Cleveland with an 11-9 scoring differential in that second quarter. So Cleveland started to find their rhythm in that second quarter and cut this lead to 7. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stats for both sides. First, for our leaders, the Hawks right now, Cesar Madrid coming off the bench with 7 points. He's tied as the scoring leader with Dion Battle, one of the starters. They both have 7 points. Madrid 2 of 4 from field goal range, and Dion Battle a perfect 2 of 2 from field goal range. That's the only time that we've seen him. Other than that, all of his points were scored in the first quarter. Didn't really see him in the second quarter. Then you have Jarrell Phillips. He has 5, 2 of 4 from field goal range, but not a perfect, but 1 of 1 from 2-point field goal range, so perfect from 2-point range, but 1 of 3 from 3-point range. And then there's a couple of those players that just have 2 points. Jake Deathridge with 2, Matthew Sprague with 2, Jelante Gray with 2, and Josh Parmenter with 2. Volcano Vista overall, not too good of a shooting night, but it's been that way for both sides. They're 9 of 21 on their field goal range. That's a 42.9%, and they're also 3 of 9 from 3-point range. But we'll talk about the rebounding stats for both sides in just a moment. Once we go over the team stats, we take a look at Cleveland's stats. Their leading scorer, who just burst out with all those points just now, is Josh Terry. He has 5 points and is the leading scorer for Cleveland, and he came up with those 5 points in the last 2 minutes of this second quarter. So he has 2 of 2 from field goal range, and also perfect from the 3-point range. A couple of others with some points that they are contributing. Jalen Munn with 4, Nakai Smith with 4. We also have Trey Watson coming off the bench with 2. Jaden Phillips, he has 3, and Amir Muhammad also has 2. And the Storm shooting worse than Volcano Vista, as they're shooting 38% from the field, 8 of 21. Not a good stat there for Cleveland. They're going to want to change that for sure. But one of the things that I was talking about with Brian O'Neill before we got in here, and we'll bring in Brian O'Neill to talk about this a little more, is that Volcano Vista is out-rebounding Cleveland 20-5. Volcano Vista has been attacking the glass really well tonight, and it's been working in their favor. In that stat number, it is 20-5. That is an insane number, especially just this game being in the first half. So when we come back, we'll elaborate on that a little more with Brian O'Neill on the first half analysis. You're listening to the New Center Credit Union Halftime Show, ESPN Radio 1017, The Team. Back here live on the New Center Credit Union Halftime Show from Volcano Vista High School. Halftime once again sponsored by New Center Credit Union. Now you can pay with Lobo Pride. Stop by any New Center Credit Union branch to get your UNM Lobos credit and debit cards. Getting your card is simple and free. Visit newcenter.org for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal opportunity. We bring in Brian O'Neill for our quick first half analysis. And like I was mentioning in that previous segment, Brian, is that the Volcano Vista Hawks out-rebounding Cleveland 20-5. And I know you were stressing this, is that you can't win a game if you're not crashing the glass, because those second chance opportunities just absolutely go away on the offensive side when you're not attacking the glass. And then on the defensive side, getting that possession back also gone too if you're not rebounding the ball.
You know, I think we've all been there, you know, as coaches and so forth, is in that sometimes what you see is, you know, when you have a team like Cleveland that has done so much this year in transition, and what happens is players start leaking out. They forget about, you know, we have to have the ball before we can begin a fast break. And so what happened was Cleveland was left with only one guy in the lane, sometimes maybe 2, but 3 guys were taken off, and Volcano Vista took full advantage of it, hitting the glass and getting putbacks. And you know, I think for the most part this first half it's been that Volcano Vista has been the more hungry team.
And that's one of the things that you had mentioned, was that Volcano Vista has been really opening up. They opened up well. I mean, they were up 18-9 in that first quarter, and then Cleveland started to kind of find their rhythm toward the downstretch of the second quarter. So do you think Cleveland will try and keep that momentum on their backs, or will Volcano Vista answer that run at the end of the second quarter with a run of their own?
Well, I think what's going to be key, Austin, is if Cleveland's got to score in order to press. And if they can't score, they can't press. And they need to press in order to score. So, it sounds like I'm, talking out of both sides of my mouth, but that's how things work. It's, it just comes full circle with them.
It's an exchange.
Yeah, it is. And that's what they need in order to win this game. They got to get this game going up and down. They've got to be able to set up their press, and that can be done only if they can score some points.
And we'll get back to game action here in just a few moments. Thanks for tuning in to the New Center Credit Union Halftime Show, and thanks again to Brian O'Neill for the first half analysis. We'll be back with Scott Galletti and Brian O'Neill in a moment. You're listening to the D.R. Horton Game of the Week, ESPN Radio 101.7 The Team.
You've been listening to the 101.7 The Team High School Basketball Halftime Show with Austin Denton.
Yes.
Up next, right here on ESPN Radio 101.7 The Team.
All right, Dion, thanks for coming on with us. So you're one of the leading scorers tonight for Volcano Vista. You're tied with Jarrell for 12 points, and you were attacking the post pretty well, 3 of 4 from total field goal range. And you were also, or I should say, that you were attacking the perimeter very well. You were 3 of 4 from out there as well. So just tell us kind of what your thought process was going into this game, and knowing the perimeter shooter that you are, that you were going to continue to do that tonight against a very tough Cleveland team.
Well, our coaches tells us to keep shooting, and we work on shooting a lot. So I just came in ready to shoot.
And one of those things, you guys had it in the back of your mind. You did beat them during the Metro tournament. You beat them by 3 in the Metro tournament. Then you had just come off a loss from them at the beginning of February. So you knew that going into this one with the state seeding implications coming into it, you guys were pretty close in terms of the latest bracketology by some of the media members. And now you can stay ahead of Cleveland in the state seeding. I mean, that's a good feeling right there. Am I right?
Yes, man. It's great.
All right. And also, with taking the lead in District 1. And this district has been especially tough this year, but it's always been that battle with Cleveland. But now you've got a game tomorrow. It's senior night, Piedra Vista. You guys got a big one coming up tomorrow. Talk about going into that one, how you're not going to let the tempo go and just finish off the season well.
Yeah, we just got to keep going hard and execute our plan, and we should be good, man.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Dion, for joining us. Dion Battle is our MVP of the game. Let's throw it back to you, Scott.